And I will just spotlight myself for a second. Okay, nu är vi live på YouTube. Så tack så mycket, Leif. Thank you very much, Leif, for doing a little workshop for us a little early whilst we're having some technical difficulties with some other sound. So Leif Alpsjö is going to teach some tunes. Thank you so much, Leif. I'm going to unpin myself.
Is the light okay? I can make it brighter.
Looks good.
It's good. So I'm going to start by talking a little. This will be a lesson of some playing and some facts that I think are unknown but useful. And I have made a manuscript to be essential and not talk too much around. My aim with this while is to help you sharpen your bundpolska rhythm, the rhythm of the bow. The bowing is the art. The left hand is just a technician. I will also present to you some technical facts about playing that is good to know for any player. First of all, I quote from the famous violinist and teacher Isaac Stern, who said, "When you open your case, you make a decision. Which?" Then a few words so you know who you're dealing with. Since 1951, I'm a dancer of different kinds of dances, also tango and African. And since 1970, a traditional dancer and fiddler. In 1974, I tested and became a riksspelman, a Swedish national fiddler with a fiddle. We are around 350 in Sweden with different instruments. In 1974, at age 31, I began to play the nyckelharpa. And since 1975, I'm a freelance folk music entrepreneur covering every aspect of the subject. That's 50 years now. As a tradition bearer, I still sing, dance, and play for dancing, and my style is what I learned from the old guys, some born in the 1890s. This means that I do not intentionally change or develop my music or dancing. Instead, joy happens in my heart, because playing together and dancing creates such good feelings of rhythm and togetherness in body and soul, each time, always. I have met around 5,000 students in singing, dancing, and playing, and I still teach, also over the internet. During 30 years, I have also met 5,000 six-year-old children in preschools with traditional song dances and song games. I have toured the east and west of Europe and made 27 tours in the US. Please move. And one visit in Newfoundland in 1986. In 1995, I was instrumental in starting the American Nyckelharpa Association, founded on it tells, start zooming, my alarm. Here are the 120 addresses that were the start of the American Nyckelharpa Association. Some 4 famous nyckelharpa players in the US in August 1995 sent out an email and paper letters to ask us to join, which we of course did. I have family and other interests, but folk music has a big place in my heart, and I often present myself as a spelman, a playman. Aging is annoying. My bow doesn't do what it did 2 years ago, but I do my best. The art of folk music is the rhythm, thus the bowing, the specific rhythm for each dance and for walking. Here I'm going to focus on playing the traditional bundpolska that has been danced in various forms since around 1850. Bunde means farmer, so bundpolska is farmer's polska. And in the dance, the couple are really bonded together. I'm going to introduce you to a very simple tune that I made some 15 years ago for the sake of practicing the polska bowing pattern, which is very specific and needs some exercising before working well. Rongsta is the village where I live. Villages with the ending word sta means town, stad, and they are all from the Viking era. So my little village, Rongsta, is a Viking village. I'm sitting on top of the island with my boats towed by the beach down there. So this is the simple polska in D major, I think. Let's do some sightseeing. Follow me. I'll play slower. First finger on the D, number 2, C2, knader, tangent. And I thought I was a man of knowledge, so I wrote this intentionally for the polska bowing pattern, but I had to rewrite it 5 times until I ended this way, and it's still a quite simple tune. First part again, together. Now I'd like you to watch my fingers. I'll let them stay as much as possible on the keys. And then when I go up, I let the pinky stay on the G. And the middle finger stays. It's simple. Let's play it again together and focus the most on the bowing. Listen to the timing of the bowing. as you hear, the beats number 1, 2, 3 have equal timing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But then comes the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that means that 3 is as long as the other two. 1, 2, 3 in timing, but in hairs it becomes shorter. You find this rhythm in dialects, like a fan, 2-3 hours drive south, west and north of Stockholm. So by the coast, south of Stockholm, into the land, 3 hours by car, and up to the Baltic Sea coast again. And each region have their local traditions. In my part of the country, northern Uppland, the heartland of the nyckelharpa, the rhythm is the Bondpolska rhythm, but still here with some variations. Influences to folk music in general in Sweden, folk music geography, is that influences came from the rich people's parties in mansions, from people who traveled in Europe, from brass orchestras at factory villages in Sweden, and by the East Coast seafarers, and from Finland and the Baltic states. Western Sweden is influenced from the British Isles and Norway, and have other kinds of rhythm, quicker and more energetic. The far south is closer to the European continent and influenced from Poland and Germany. Let's play the Rączta Polska a few times more, for the sake of letting the fingers stay on the keys and the Polska bowing pattern. If you feel tempted to stress one of the 3, 1, 2, 3 beats, don't. In a traditional tune, the traditional tunes were perfectly made for the dance they were played for, like threshed in the barn until the essential part remained. So the rhythm is already embedded in the melody. Search and sense it. Let the melody itself speak. Play it evenly and with precision. The rhythm otherwise too easily becomes like an oval wheel. And here is an interesting fact. In polskas in general, in the fan district I told you about, 3 hours around Stockholm, stressed are beat number 1 in the measures 1, 3, 5, and 7. Beat 1 in 1, 3, 5, and 7. Beat 2 in measures 2, 4, 6. Dum da di 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 dum da di 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 dum da di 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 dum da. This is a very short tone, but it goes dum da di 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 dum da di 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 dum da di 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 dum da di di. This is very delicate. It's not so clearly expressed, but You hear it in our folk songs, the polska songs made by the simple people who were dancing to their singing, not the folk songs written by educated people. Because when they made up these songs for the polskas, it of course had to be the correct rhythm. I'll return to this. Now we'll play another one, Ur-polskan, and Ur means ancient, general or origin, because we named it so because we think it has all the fundamental ingredients of a real polska. I'll play it for you at full speed first. It's all played in the first position. So let's do sightseeing through Urpolskan. This is a very good dancing polska. When you play for dancing for the Bund polska, you notice that the most straightforward, simpler polskas with a fewer notes, they are the best to dance with. The more ornaments, the more complicated you may make them, the more even they become, and the worse to dance with. You see from the dancers' smiles if you're successful. And by the way, playing for dancing means that I must look at the good dancers, because their rhythm, their timing, together with my bowing, it's the same. The dance and the music, they are the same. So I look at the feet and I adjust my timing of my bow to their dancing. If you want to see how this is performed, the dance, Bund Polska, it's a couple dance, you should go to YouTube and look at exactly, search Bund Polska, Polska from Viksta. Bund Polska, Polska from Viksta. And go for the film with the time 1.43. Don't go for the 0.53 version, because they are doing too much kneeling up and down. I learned that that's called poop pants. For the man, there is almost no up or down movement in the dance. The woman, she jumps, flows through the air, kneels down and then up again. But together they are swaying to and fro, but very little ups and downs. If the dancers are making ups and downs, I need to adjust my melody, and I don't want that. Urpolskan, let's try to play Urpolskan together. is of course C major. Most traditional tunes are C major or G. Again. You may start open strings. Let's see where we are now. When the Bund Polska works for the couple, when they have found each other well on the dancing floor, the man puts his hand on his back, and only the woman holds her hands on his shoulder, meaning that she lifts herself. Women in the old times were very strong, not so much today, so there are other ways for her to hold. And the dance continues unhindered. I've done this many times. And I've also been playing my nyckelharpa while dancing with a partner. I've done this in Tokyo, San Francisco, and in New York at Symphony Space on Broadway and West 95th Street, but never in Sweden. Then the movement must not be too well grown. There must be space for the nyckelharpa. A few more turns with urpolskan. Can you say urpolskan? The original polska. That's our name of it. It didn't have a name before. I'm not focusing on you completely learning the tunes, but this is a taste of it. I'll tell you where to find them later. This is more like a theory lesson. The Swedish polskas, danced and played, have as many dialects as has the spoken language. And the dialects spread and changed along the same paths and the same areas during the 17 and 1800s. Roughly the old kind of folk music ended with World War I when modern times entered Sweden. And it's up to that time, that repertoire, that a riksspelman should cover, played on the traditional instruments belonging to the farming society. All 8-note polskas consist basically of 3 quarter notes, I've told you. You can understand this also if you cannot read music. Dum, dum, di da, di dum, dum, da da, di dum, dum, da da. But then comes the trick. After the downstroke on 3, which is short on the hair, but the same length in time as 1 and 2. After that comes and it's so that the man, when they have the resting tour, the woman is walking backwards, he's walking forwards. He is stepping on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left, right, left, right. Then when the turning starts, he puts his right foot on beat 1 suddenly. But before beat 1, he is turning it very quickly. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So he's twisting his foot, also in the well-known Buda polska and many others. And that's where the short upstroke is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm just trying to find some logics here. I'd like to illustrate the stress on beat 1 and beat 2, as I told you. The famous Tobogubben, I hope you know it. There's a text with it that has this rhythm perfectly well, because otherwise they shouldn't have made it. En sup åt mig och en sup åt dig och en sup åt lilla vän som slår i och du som ser på, ja du ska inget få, för du kan gärna vara utan. Dam da da di dam da 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 di dam da 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 di dam. If you leave this exact polska bowing pattern and make number 3 2 quarter notes, then it's a humble. And there's nothing wrong with a humble, but you cannot dance a humble to Bundpolska. But you can dance a humble to a Bundpolska if you change the rhythm slightly. So when we play for a humble, we play the Bundpolskas. We straighten out dum da 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 dum da 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 da. So it's a great, like a grace note. See the measures like this. You play 1, 2, 3, measure bar, 1. So the upstroke is just like a grace note, longer or shorter, depending on the dialect you're playing in. So look at it that way instead of 1, 2, 3 and to 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, and that's humble. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I hope you understand what I mean. It's a great difference. And again, you hear it in the melody. En sup åt mig och en sup åt dig och en sup åt lilla vänner som slår di. Men du som ser på, ja du ska inget få, för du har inget vara utan. Now I will illustrate the stress on beat 1 in 1-3-5-7 and on beat 2 in 2-4-6. I will exaggerate it some. Sorry. So then instead of having a period of 1 measure, you have a period of 2 measures. If I play it stressed on beat 1 only, it sounds like this. But if I search the embedded rhythm in the melody, it naturally comes, because this is the way the melody was made. Why? Because otherwise the dancers would have complained. I don't think I would recommend to think of this and to stress it this way when you're playing, but I think being aware of it and humbly letting the melody speak. Luckily enough, I can read and write music, and when I find a new polska, dancers ask me, can you play this? I take a while and play it from the paper. I've never heard it before, I don't know the dialect, but I let the music slowly grow and speak from the paper, humbly. And that mostly works. I try to find some sounding example on the internet too, for the support. That's very interesting business. You find the tunes I've been playing here. If you go to nyckelharpa.com, you find 33 tunes, 1 lesson in playing harmonies. So far 2 LPs, there will be 3, and some more. If you click on the text Spela nyckelharpa under the picture of myself, it was taken in West Virginia, by the way, during a wonderful course week. If you then click on the British flag and go to the text, blue text to the left on top, you will find the whole register. If you have problems with it, you search me on the internet and call me or email. I can also help you with lessons via Zoom or FaceTime. I love it. Because that's so far what I had planned. I'm open to continuing if you would prefer that.
If you would like to continue, then we have time. If you would like to do another tune.
Oh, one more tune. How much time, roughly?
Oh, you can have 20 minutes.
Oh my! What shall we do?
I mean, I can also take a tune and we can start with Regina early. So,
Three tunes again.
okay.
Start with a repetition, and then I will try to figure out something. So urpolskan, no, first Wrångstapolskan, then urpolskan, then Tubogubben. It's kind of a ladder. One good thing to know, you can practice this now. With the same pressure of the bow on the string, with the same speed of the bow, go from the bridge. You may do it on the G string, rather firm press to make it swing. And then look at me first. Don't do anything, just listen first. So I would say the best sound you get in between here, not exactly at the middle, but a little closer to the bridge and about 15 millimeters away from the bridge. More pressure, slower speed on the thick strings, faster and less pressure on the thinner strings. Now try for yourself. Do this on the G or the C string. And I'll wait for you. All right. So this is volume. I hear my something. This is the volume, but if you hear, the sound will be more crispy than here. That's why I play with fairly short strokes. The long strokes are not necessary if you play here. But you can choose whichever way you like. Urpolskan. One more time. finding this stroke point, you should do it with your elbow. And for that sake, I'm using half of a water tube. It's plastic. I just sawed it off. And a rubber band around here. And this makes it steady. So it goes down into the case, and here I can prolong the string holder. To me is too short. And to make it longer, you need a bigger case. To me, this is very practical. Okay, Tobogubben, do your best. If you can't play with, you find it on nyckelharpa.com. The text under my picture and the British flag, and then the text on the top left. I get so distracted by looking at myself. It's a rather funny feeling. By the way, playing in front of the mirror, I have a mirror right behind my back here. Playing in front of the mirror, looking at yourself, is very, very practical. It's a very honest teacher. Does never lie. It's a bit awkward in the beginning to see yourself, whatever you call it. But gradually you learn. You can see your bowing, you can see your fingering, and you can see what is reasonable with your playing and what is not reasonable with your technique, and adjust to that. And that should always be done at slow speed. Besides, Itzhak Perlman has stressed this. Practice only short moments, only a few measures. Practice it over and over again, and at slow speed. My experience with myself and with my students is that if you practice at slow speeds, you learn fast. If you practice at full speed, you don't learn much. Mostly you learn mistakes, because when playing at slow speed, you have time to watch yourself and to correct whatever you're doing. How about that?
I think that was brilliant. Thank you so much, Leif. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I am going to stop the